everybody, this is Craig Faniani for the Sacramento Jazz Education Foundation, and we're back with ear training, Harmonic Context, Part 6. Thanks for staying with me here. It's a lot to learn, and a lot of really fun ways actually to kind of practice it and get it to be something that you can really use. We're pretty deep into harmony now. We're going to work on chord inversions and recognition. This is an essential skill because if you have a melody note with a chord attached, which you will, you need to know what those notes are. The melody note and the accompanying harmony are married together as the sound that you have pre-selected actually for your solo, because you're thinking about that ahead of time, what note is going to fit with this harmony. Maybe you're not to that level, but it's really weird if you know the harmony to a song and you play a note and someone either doesn't change chords to go there. It would be like if you were playing a blues and you were playing some really cool phrase over the first 4 bars, and then either the rhythm section was inexperienced enough to change to the 4 chord early, or they didn't change at all and changed late. It just doesn't feel right. And those things are meant to be together, so we have to take care of that. So the notes that you play are not a guess. They're not random. They're, as I said, pre-selected. If you're just playing a scale across the top of a chord progression, then you're not taking enough time or putting in enough effort to figure out what notes are actually going to sound great. When you see in a Jamie Aebersold book, for instance, a scale that looks like it goes with the chord, you need to stop and take a look at how each of those notes sound. They're all going to sound different. They may go, but you're not going to want to play just a scale. You're going to want to put them into a nice phrase, a nice contoured, organically composed, felt, sensed, and sounded phrase. So keep that in mind, because if you can write a new melody over a chord progression, then you're really doing the right thing. If you're just playing scales across the top of the chords, you fool some of the people. Okay, so what's next? I'm going to play major and minor triads in different inversions. You'll recognize them as either a root position, or first inversion, or second inversion. Now, root position has the root on the bottom. When you put the root on the top, then you have a first inversion, which is the 3rd, 5th, and octave. And if you do that again by putting that bottom note on the top, you'll get 5, 1, 3. And there are all kinds of songs that you can listen to that will help you with that. That's the Star Spangled Banner. This one, In the Mood, and All of Me, and this one is Taps. And if you know those are going to start to pop out when you're listening to a song sometime. You say, hey, that sounds like a second inversion chord or whatever. So like I said before, the more you learn, the more you know, then the more things are going to connect up. All right, so just identify these as R or first or second. All right, let's just do a couple for practice. Part of listening to these is picking out the top note. Can you hear the top note? Bum, bum, bum. And if you think about how that sits, and we're going to do an exercise later where we're going to sing these, so you're ready for that. But ba-ba-da-dum. Try to figure out exactly what those components are. Now, I'm going to play these harmonically, and then I'm going to play them ascending and descending. But I'm going to take some time in between those, because if you can recognize it in its harmonic form, all notes played together, that's better. If you have to use the crutch of having them played separately or arpeggiated, ascending or descending, that's okay, but it's not like getting it this way. So I will play those with lots of space in between, so you can then pause the video and try it a couple times before you have to listen to crutch number 1 or crutch number 2. Okay, this one. Can you hear the top note? If I play it arpeggiated, you can. And then you can attach a song to it, or you can see it. That's a minor third, so that's got to be, that's a minor third, so it's got to be a first inversion chord. Because the root position is a major third. It's a major third, minor third, and then here's your fourth. So when we do this one, the second inversion, that's the 5-1-3. That sounds like reveille. I think that's taps too. Anyway, this has Mexican hat dance. Here comes the bride for its first interval, and then a major third as well. So this second inversion chord has the third on the top. It's a second inversion chord. Okay, a couple more. Let's do a different key. Ba's the top note. Ba da 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 da. Takes me right back down to the root. Ba da da da. Use your ladder. Use your song. Ba da 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 da. Anything you've got to help figure that out. That's a root position A chord. Here is the top note is here. The top note is here. Ba da da. All of me. A little low for all of me, but anyway. Ba da da. So that's a first inversion because the root's on the top. And one more. Here we go. Can you hear the top note? Maybe you like to hear the bottom note. Try it. Some people say that if you can pick out the bass note and the melody note, then you can fill in the chords. Sometimes people use their ears in that way. They hear the bass note and then they've only got basically major or minor or diminished or augmented to put in between. That's leaving out the sevenths and ninths, but that does help you get to where you want to get to if you're trying to figure out what chords there are in a song. So this one, can you hear the top note? Ba, ba da 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 dum, ba da 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 da. Ba da dum, ba da. So if you go through those notes, you'll feel that this is a major third there, sounds like a doorbell, and this one is a perfect fourth. So that's got to be a second inversion chord. Okay. All right, we've reached the end of the setup and the explanation for ear training harmonic context part 6. Please join us for part 7. See you there.